Welcome to my new channel. In this episode, we explore Think and Grow Rich, Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Chapter 1. The message we get from the chapter is, every great achievement begins with a burning desire. Desire is not a wish. It's not a hope. It's a fire that refuses to die until the goal becomes reality. Barnes wanted just one thing: to become a partner of Thomas Edison. Not an employee, a partner. He had no money, no education, no special background. But he had a burning desire strong enough to drive him across the country. Edison didn't reject him, he gave him a small job. Years later, Barnes sold Edison's new machine so successfully that Edison himself said, "Barnes is my partner." This is what a burning desire does. It shapes destiny. Some key lessons from the chapter are: a desire must be clear, definite, and measurable. Desire backed with action becomes destiny. Sacrifice is part of the journey. Desire is more powerful than talent. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you burn for. Chapter 2. Faith. A chapter that Napoleon Hill calls the most powerful force in achievement. Faith. But this isn't religious faith. This is the unshakable belief that I will do it. I must do it. I'm built for it. Hill says, faith is the state of mind that converts desire into reality. Without faith, even the best dream becomes a bedtime story. Everyone told Henry Ford, "Sir, a V8 engine is impossible." Engineers said, "Can't be done." If Ford were Indian, he'd probably say, "Impossible? Try harder. And if still not possible, try with chai." But Ford kept repeating one thing: make it. Keep making it. Months passed. Failures passed. People laughed. But eventually, the first V8 engine was born. Not a miracle, just faith with stubbornness. This story teaches us the world calls it impossible until your belief proves otherwise. The core idea continues. Hill says that faith is not inherited, it's trained. It's built by repeating your belief again and again, until your mind has no option but to accept it. Your mind is like a child. It learns what you keep repeating. Tell it every day, "I can't." It will say, "Sure, you can't." Tell it boldly, "I can. I will. Watch me." And your mind becomes your greatest supporter. Faith plus autosuggestion equals mental GPS. It shows you the road even when the map is blank. Your belief is the first brick of any big success. Faith is not hoping, faith is knowing. When the world doubts you, let your belief become your bodyguard. If you believe deeply, even fear becomes confused about its job. So friends, desire is your starting spark, but faith is the wind that turns it into a flame. Desire says, "I want it." Faith says, "I will get it." Desire creates a dream, faith creates the path. And remember, you don't climb mountains with muscles, you climb them with belief. Chapter 3. Autosuggestion. Next, we move into Chapter 3, Autosuggestion, the tool Hill calls the steering wheel of the human mind. Autosuggestion simply means you become what you repeatedly tell yourself. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant grows. The mind doesn't argue. It doesn't ask for proof. It simply accepts what you feed it. Tell it, "I'm not capable," and it quietly replies, "All right, you're not." Tell it boldly, I can. I'm growing. I'm improving every day. And it begins to design your life around that command. One of the most inspiring parts of this chapter is the story of Hill's son Blair, born without ears, unable to hear. Doctors said, no hope. He will never hear. But Hill did something unbelievable. He used autosuggestion on his own child. He never told Blair, you can't hear. He kept repeating, you have a unique gift. You are special. You will do things other children cannot. If the child had grown up and said, Dad, you hit my entire character development block like a thriller movie, even then, Hill's approach worked. Slowly, Blair developed a slight sense of hearing. Later, with a hearing device, he performed even better than normal students. Hill writes, the subconscious mind will translate any thought into reality, positive or negative. This story is the living proof. How autosuggestion works. Your thoughts are like repeated commands. Say a command once, nothing changes. Say it daily, your subconscious rewires itself. Autosuggestion is like setting your mind's default mode, just like choosing dark mode or light mode on your phone. Choose negativity, your mind dims itself. Choose purpose, your mind lights up. Repeated affirmations act like installation updates, slowly upgrading your mental software. And one day you wake up thinking, I am not who I used to be. Your mind is a mirror. It reflects what you show it daily. Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you want to see winning. Your thoughts vote for the future you are building. A suggestion repeated enough times becomes a belief, and beliefs shape destinies. So chapter 3 teaches us that desire gives you a dream, faith gives you courage, and autosuggestion gives you control over your thoughts. If you want a new life, start by giving your mind new instructions. Because the world outside changes only after the world inside changes. Chapter 4, Specialized Knowledge. Now we move to Chapter 4, Specialized Knowledge, the real backbone of achievement. Hill makes a clear statement, general knowledge is of little use. Only organized, specialized knowledge leads to success. It's funny, most people try to learn everything, but end up mastering nothing. It's like trying to cook 10 dishes at once and burning all of them at the same time. Specialized knowledge is targeted, focused learning. This is what builds careers, businesses, inventions, and wealth. People called Thomas Edison a genius. But even Edison didn't work alone. He had a team of experts, each one a master in a different subject. Edison supplied ideas. His team turned them into inventions. If Edison had tried to learn everything himself, the light bulb might still be under construction. This is organized knowledge. When different people bring different expertise and together they build something world-changing. Why specialized knowledge matters. We live in a world where knowing everything is not power. Knowing something deeply is power. The market doesn't pay you for being average at many things. It pays you for being exceptional at one thing. Hill says, you don't need to be the expert. You can hire experts. You can learn from experts. You can organize knowledge. And that is enough to change your destiny. Learning never stops. The day you stop learning, the world overtakes you. It's like everyone else is in a car and you're still in slow motion saying, wait, I'm coming on my bicycle. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Becoming great doesn't require knowing everything, just mastering something. When your knowledge aligns with your purpose, success becomes predictable.
You don't grow by learning more. You grow by learning what matters. So Chapter 4 shows us that luck is overrated and skills are underrated. Your specialized knowledge is your fuel, and how you use it is your engine. From here, we move to a chapter that explains where ideas are born. Imagination, the workshop of the mind. Imagination, the workshop of the mind, where all dreams take shape. Hill says, whatever the mind can imagine, it can achieve. Everything great began as a picture in someone's mind. Light bulbs, airplanes, smartphones, businesses, movies. If imagination didn't exist, today we'd all be writing letters to each other and waiting 15
days for a reply, like vintage romance movies. Hill breaks imagination into two types. 1. Synthetic imagination, building something new by rearranging old ideas, like cycle plus engine equals motorcycle. 2. Creative imagination, the sudden spark, the intuition, the inspiration that feels like it came from another dimension. That's the imagination that whispers, "Get up, I have an idea." Walt Disney imagined a magical world long before anyone believed in it. People laughed at the idea of cartoons becoming an empire. Disney didn't argue. He imagined, he planned, he built. Disneyland was once just a picture in his mind. Today, it's a universe. Hill was right. Ideas are the beginning points of all fortunes. Why imagination matters? You don't build empires with money. You build them with imagination and then use money to expand them. Your imagination is your personal gold mine. If ideas stop, growth stops. Most people unknowingly put their mind in battery saver mode, thinking only about food, sleep, and notifications. And then they wonder why life feels stuck. If thinking doesn't grow, neither does life. How to awaken imagination? Hill explains that imagination grows when you stay calm, think deeply, ask big questions, read and learn, and surround yourself with creative minds. Your mind produces ideas based on what you feed it. Feed it small thoughts, and it produces small ideas. Feed it big dreams, and it starts creating miracles. Imagination is the blueprint of your destiny. You don't need resources to dream. You need courage. Every invention was once just a quiet thought inside someone's mind. Your imagination designs the life you are about to live. So, Chapter 5 teaches us that knowledge gives you tools, but imagination gives you wings. When imagination wakes up, life becomes a workshop of possibilities. And now it's time to see how those ideas turn into real, actionable plans. Chapter 6, Organized Planning. Now we move to the chapter where your ideas stop floating in the clouds and finally touch the ground. Hill states very clearly, if your plan fails, replace the plan, not the goal. Because failure doesn't mean the dream was wrong, it means the strategy needs a software update. Everyone dreams. Some set goals, but only a few create actionable plans. And those few become leaders. When the whole world was chanting, "Humans cannot fly," the Wright brothers were busy preparing flight diagrams. They crashed dozens of times. Every crash came with a new plan, a new adjustment, a new calculation. The plane didn't fly by luck. It flew because the plan evolved. Hill was right. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. He only changes the plan. Basically, don't stop driving, just take a different road. A plan is built from a definite purpose, a practical blueprint, and a supporting mastermind team. No great achievement was ever a solo movie. Google, 2 people. Apple, 2 people. Facebook, a room full of roommates. Success is never a one-man movie. The plan becomes powerful when the right people are in the story. Hill explains that you must revise your plan until it works. Because a dream without a plan is just a thought. But a dream with a plan is a future in construction. Dream plus plan plus action equals success. Dream plus plan minus action equals aesthetic Instagram quote. When you make a plan, your mind says, let's build the future. When you delay a plan, your mind says, sir, was your destiny optional? A plan is the GPS of your dreams. A dream without a plan is a tourist. A dream with a plan is a traveler. Success doesn't arrive by surprise. It arrives by preparation. So chapter 6 teaches us desire gives direction. Faith gives power. Autosuggestion gives confidence. Imagination gives ideas. But organized planning gives those ideas legs to walk on. Without a plan, a dream is poetry. With a plan, a dream becomes a project. And a project becomes your reality. Now we move to the chapter that talks about the courage to make strong decisions. Chapter 7, Decision. Now we enter the chapter that separates dreamers from achievers. The art of acting boldly and quickly. Hill says, successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly. Unsuccessful people delay decisions and change them often. Most people spend their entire life thinking, should I start? What if I fail? What will people think? And life moves on, but they don't. Winners are different. They say, let's begin. If it's wrong, I'll correct course. That's leadership. Napoleon won half his battles not because he had the largest army, but because he had the fastest decisions. His philosophy was, a wrong decision is better than indecision. His opponents were still planning, revising documents, discussing strategies, and Napoleon already marching forward. Indecision has destroyed more dreams than failure ever did. Why is decision so powerful? 1. It kills confusion. Clarity begins with commitment. 2. It activates your energy. When you decide, your mind wakes up. 3. It opens doors. Action creates opportunities. Hill writes, indecision is the seed of fear. Fear grows where decisions don't. Tomorrow is the most dangerous word because it never comes. The biggest enemy of decision is what will people think? Hill says 95% people never decide because they fear public opinion. But here's a secret. People hardly think and they rarely remember. Listen to others, but decide for yourself. This single habit can rewrite your destiny. Decision plus action equals results. A decision without action is the beautiful decoration. Nothing happens until you take the first step. A call, an email, a small move, a tiny beginning. One step changes everything. Life has no U-turn, but it has side roads for those who decide. A dream becomes real the moment you choose it. Confusion is expensive. It costs you your future. Indecision is the silent thief of destiny. If the road is wrong, you can always turn, but you must start driving. So, chapter 7 teaches us that dreams need decisions to breathe. Without decision, ambition is just imagination. And with decision, life becomes unstoppable. Now we move to the chapter that gives life to every decision. Chapter 8, Persistence. Now we arrive at the chapter that Hill calls the backbone of achievement. The ability to keep going, even when the world seems to test your patience. Hill says, most people give up when success is just one step away. The tragedy? They never know how close they were. Persistence is the quality that turns ordinary into extraordinary. It transforms dreams into realities. Slowly, quietly, but surely. At 62, when others were planning to relax, Colonel Sanders was planning a global empire. With one chicken recipe in his hand and fire in his soul, he knocked on 1009 doors and heard 1009 rejections. But he wasn't counting no's, he was counting steps. And he took one more. The 1010th said yes. Today KFC is in 150 plus countries. Hill was right. Persistent person never loses. He either wins or learns. Why persistence works? Because it strengthens you. Every attempt improves you. It signals the universe that this person is serious. Luck may not come to everyone, but it definitely comes to the persistent. People without persistence convince themselves, this is my limit. Persistent people say, there must be another way. How to develop persistence? A clear goal, a burning desire, strong belief, a supportive environment, and a mindset that says, I will get there. I don't know how long it'll take, but I will get there. Persistence is born when you become your biggest supporter. First attempts rarely work. That's why pencils have erasers. Success doesn't come to the fastest. It comes to the ones who refuse to stop. Talent is common. Persistence is rare. When the path disappears, persistent people draw their own.
So Chapter 8 teaches us that everything you've learned so far, desire, faith, autosuggestion, knowledge, imagination, planning, decision, is useless without persistence. Persistence is the engine. Persistence is the heartbeat. Persistence is the difference between almost and achieved. Now let's move to the next chapter that explains how powerful success becomes when the right people join your journey. Chapter 9, The Mastermind. Now we enter one of the most powerful principles in Think and Grow Rich, the coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for a definite purpose. Hill calls it the third mind, a mysterious, invisible force that is created when two minds focus on one purpose. It multiplies power, amplifies ideas, and speeds up success. Google, Paige Brent. Two young students, one shared dream. Their combined thinking didn't just start a company, they changed the world. Wright brothers. One had imagination, the other had engineering skill. Together, they created the miracle of flight. Henry Ford. He built an empire not by knowing everything, but by gathering people who knew everything he needed. Hill was right. No mind is complete by itself. Why the mastermind works? Because skills combine, experience multiplies, mistakes reduce, motivation increases, ideas expand, doubt disappears. A mastermind is like a mental power station. Alone, you are a battery. Together, you are electricity. You become the average of the people you associate with. Right people can lift your dreams, wrong people can delete them. Your environment is your silent partner. Choose it wisely. A mastermind isn't a group, it's a force. You don't need many people, you need the right people. The one who thinks big, the one who thinks practical, the one who solves problems, the one who pushes you, the one who refuses to let you quit. A good mastermind meeting is better than a 3-hour motivational seminar. So Chapter 9 shows us that success is not a solo act. It is a symphony, played by minds tuned to the same goal. Now we move to a chapter that many misunderstand, but Hill calls it one of the greatest sources of human power. Chapter 10, Sex Transmutation. Now, we enter a chapter that many misunderstand, but Hill calls the most powerful form of human energy. The transformation of emotional, passionate, and magnetic human energy into creativity, ambition, and achievement. Hill explains, sex desire is the most powerful of all human desires. If directed wrongly, it distracts. If directed wisely, it creates genius. Sex energy equals creative power. Sex transmutation simply means taking the intense emotional force behind the sex energy and channeling it into creation, art, ambition, leadership, genius, achievement. It adds fire to your voice, magnetism to your personality, confidence to your presence, and unstoppable drive to your actions. Napoleon Bonaparte, his magnetism moved armies. He had unmatched intensity. Thomas Edison, he worked with passion, not just intelligence. Henry Ford, his ambition came from an emotionally charged mind. Hill says every great leader has a high degree of sexual energy. The meaning? Sex transmutation means not suppressing energy, redirecting it, turning desire into drive, turning passion into purpose, turning emotion into excellence. Raw energy distracts. Transmuted energy transforms. Emotion is fuel. Direction is ignition. Your energy isn't the problem. Your direction is. If your emotions are strong, you're already powerful. A turbo engine is not meant for a bicycle. Use it to fly. Don't kill your fire. Guide it. How to transmute? Hill suggests engage in creative work. Focus your mind on goals. Surround yourself with inspiring people. Use imagination. Use persistence. When emotion and purpose combine, ordinary people become extraordinary. So Chapter 10 teaches us not to waste energy, not to fear emotion, but to guide both towards achievement and greatness. Now we move to the chapter that becomes the bridge between your conscious energy and your deep inner power, Chapter 11, the subconscious mind. Now we enter the chapter that Hill calls the connecting link between desire and reality. Hill says the subconscious mind never sleeps. You rest, it works. You forget, it remembers. You doubt, it obeys. The subconscious is a loyal servant. It will accept whatever you repeatedly tell it. It's real power. It stores your fears, your beliefs, your emotions, your habits, your interpretations, and your identity. And it responds not to logic, but to emotion. Hill says the subconscious mind does not differentiate between constructive or destructive thoughts. It simply executes whatever you plant. Emotion plus autosuggestion equals programming the mind. If you say, "I will succeed," but emotion is weak, the subconscious ignores it. But if you say, "I will succeed," with conviction, passion, and feeling, the subconscious accepts it as a command. Emotion is the password. Edison's persistence was not just physical effort, it was subconscious programming. Thousands of experiments, days without sleep, but a single dominant thought. It will work. That belief activated his subconscious mind, and solutions kept appearing. How to shape it? Feed it clarity, strong desires, positive emotions, definite goals, gratitude, confidence. Avoid fear, doubt, overthinking, negativity, criticism, indecision. Your subconscious attracts what your dominant thoughts declare. You are the broadcaster. Your subconscious is the receiver. Your life is the output. Your subconscious is always listening, so speak wisely. Your thoughts write your future. The subconscious is like soil. It will grow whatever you plant. If you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So Chapter 11 tells us that the subconscious mind is not just a part of your brain. It is the architect of your destiny. Feed it the right emotions and it will design the right future. Now we move to a fascinating chapter, The Brain, also by Napoleon Hill. Now we enter a powerful chapter
where Hill explains that the human brain functions as both a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Hill says every human brain is capable of picking up vibrations of thought. Your thoughts are not silent. They radiate, they travel, they attract. You don't think alone, you transmit. Thoughts as vibrations. Each thought carries frequency. Confidence vibrates high. Fear vibrates low. Joy vibrates bright. Anger vibrates heavy. Your brain receives what it is tuned to. Tune into fear, you attract more fear. Tune into confidence, you attract clarity and opportunity. This is not magic, it's mental radio. Mastermind equals frequency boost. When multiple minds come together harmoniously, their combined vibration creates a powerful force field. Ideas flow faster, clarity increases, intuition strengthens. Hill says the mastermind stimulates the mind to a higher frequency of thought. Your brain becomes not just a receiver, but a super receiver. Steve Jobs didn't just speak, he transmitted belief. People didn't just listen, they received. His brain operated on a high mental frequency, visionary, intense, passionate. That is what Hill describes as broadcasting powerful thought vibrations. What activates the brain's higher frequency? According to Hill, a burning desire, emotionally charged imagination, and the energy from sex transmutation. When these three combine, the brain becomes a magnet, pulling ideas, opportunities, and insights. Those sudden moments of genius, the flashes of intuition, the solutions that appear out of nowhere are the results of this mental broadcasting system. Your brain is a Wi-Fi router. If your thoughts are weak, your signals will drop. Broadcast confidence and receive opportunities. Tune your mind high and life will respond high. Strong thoughts create strong results. So Chapter 12 teaches us, your brain is not just thinking, it is transmitting your destiny. What you send out is what you pull back.
Chapter 13, The Sixth Sense, the mysterious faculty that Hill describes as the door to the Temple of Wisdom. When you master all previous principles, desire, faith, autosuggestion, imagination, knowledge, decision, persistence, mastermind, sex transmutation, subconscious mind, and the brain, a new ability awakens within you. Intuition, the inner voice, the silent guide, the sixth sense. Hill says, the sixth sense is the faculty through which infinite intelligence communicates. How it feels. You suddenly know what to do. You feel direction. You sense danger. You sense opportunity. You sense people's intentions, not logically, but naturally. It is the mind's highest function. Leadership plus sixth sense. Great leaders rely on it. Steve Jobs felt the future. Disney felt the magic. Elon Musk feels possibilities long before the world sees them. They don't follow logic alone, they follow inner signals. Hill says, geniuses are those who act on their hunches. Where does the sixth sense come from? From subconscious clarity, emotional maturity, amplified imagination, high-frequency thoughts, experience, and inner silence. When the mind becomes calm and confident, the sixth sense becomes loud and clear. Intuition is like Wi-Fi. You can't see it, but when the connection is strong, you feel everything. Logic shows the visible path. Intuition shows the hidden one. Your inner voice is the most honest friend you'll ever have. When the sixth sense speaks, successful people listen. So Chapter 13 tells us success is not just planning and working. It is listening, feeling, connecting, trusting. When your heart, mind, subconscious, and energy align, the universe begins to guide you. And that guidance is the sixth sense, your personal compass towards the future meant for you. If you loved this chapter, hit the like button, share it with a dreamer, and subscribe. See you in the next video.